What's up, Knife Tube? It's Diamond Cut Steel, and you guys are going to learn something today. This is going to be the second part. I just filmed the video on this D2. We have a foil burr that formed and a very poor cut test score of 20. So, we're going to take the old Cheefarcuut and we're going to knock some steel off of this thing to get into steel that's not fatigued from that factory edge. That's exactly what this issue is. 100%. We're going to go at about 17 degrees per side. Man, this stone's good. Every time I use this thing, I'm more impressed with it. For $100, like, damn, this thing's good. It really removes some steel too. Even with very, very light pressure, it's cutting that D2 very, very quickly. Here's where we're at. We're going to go ahead and remove some more. It's probably not enough. However, I'm not going to just focus on one side right now. I do want to get some steel off of this thing, because this knife is going back to Kershaw, so I'm quite sure that they're just going to send me a new knife. I got to be careful with this thing closing on my finger while I'm cutting it, while I'm sharpening it, because I can feel it moving, trying to do it. This stone really does impress me. Like, it's so good for $100. Sadly, they're sold out. I told you all they would. You should have bought one. They told me middle of September that they're getting their new stock in, so I should be getting a couple more grits. And they told me they were going to send me them. I guess they're going to send me all of them. Man, I just want that 200 so bad. That 200 is the one I really want. I'm actually scared of this thing closing on my finger as I push. The most dangerous knife I've ever had. Literally the softest back spring slip joint you can imagine is more safe than this thing. In case you haven't seen the videos and don't know what I'm talking about, look, super dangerous. Super dangerous. There's where we're at. We got a nice healthy burr. Now let's see if this shit's going to turn to foil. Actually, you know what? I'm missing a little bit here at the back. Okay. Focus on this back area for a second. Remember, don't sit and work one area for too long without blending, or that's going to cause you some serious problems. Like when you work an area, especially on a super fast cutting stone like this, when you work an area like what I'm doing right now, you better not work that area too long before you start to blend. Come on, Cheefarcuut, send me that 200. I want that thing bad. Alright, now we should have a nice burr. Yes, okay, we got a nice burr. So now I'm going to work the other side momentarily. And I'm not going to flip the burr like I normally do. I don't care about reason. I want to remove steel right now. So knocking that burr off to raise up another one, I'm good with that. I want to get rid of steel. Guys, I'm going to say something too. If y'all have this stone, because I've heard a couple of people talking about it wearing quickly. This stone does not wear quickly. If this stone's wearing quickly for you, you're using way too much pressure. Like I'm using healthy pressure right now, and that's not going to bother the stone at all. But if you're using, you know, massive pressure on it, that's why you're wearing it, and you're just wasting your stone for no reason. This stone cuts fast enough that you don't need to apply heavy pressure to it. Okay. Now I do starting to have a nice stout burr that's actually fairly firm filling form. So I think we're about past that fatigued steel. Okay. Again, I'm not going to flip the burr. And like how I know it don't wear fast, I'm already about, I don't know, 30 knives on this thing. And I've only had to lightly lap it twice. And the one was because I lightly lapped it right off the get-go. Look, I've lapped it so lightly that I haven't even taken the branding off. So, yeah, this stone is by no means a fast-wearing stone. And if it is, it's because you're just being crazy with the pressure. All right. So, should we just finish that on this? Or no, let's take it back over to that 600. Let's take it back over to that 600 DMT. I went ahead and put a one of the Nagaras that come with the FSK stones. I believe they're 220 grit. I went ahead and used it to break in that stone. So hopefully that knocked off those big pieces that were down near the bottom. So yeah, it should be nice and broken in now. If it's not, then that means those pieces are like actually bigger pieces and they're in the electroplating. And if that's the case, that's a real problem. That means they're pretty much going to be there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and here's where we're at now, finish wise. Right at probably about right at 17 degrees per side. Using a little Windex. This is just straight Windex, not diluted. Best thing you can possibly use for your diamond plates is Windex as a stone lubricant. Now I am going to flip that burr. Come on, stone, don't have those big chunks. Yeah, they're still there. I feel them. It's better than it was, but they're still there. Come on, DMT. Start making stones like y'all used to make again. Please. Now, I've done really removed my steel with that Cheefarcuut vitrified stone, so I'm not, right now, I'm just getting the scratch pattern in order. I don't see no drastic, by naked eye anyways, I don't see no gouges from much larger diamonds. So it could just be like a little hump and little raised areas in the electroplating that not necessarily have loose diamond in them. Could be that. Um, okay. With all that steel I removed, I'll be quite surprised if we get a foil burr this time. It's definitely much better than it was. Those bumps aren't nearly as severe. In fact, they're very little now, actually. I just feel them in right about here. Right, yeah, right about there. Maybe they'll go away. We'll see. Okay, here's where we're at. As you see, up there at the tip, that spot that was bad, you know, kind of misground from the factory. I've got it corrected now. Alrighty, let's go ahead and start working that burr. We're just going to fatigue it. we'll know pretty quickly if we have a foil burr forming. Let's see where we're at. Nice consistent scratch pattern. A little bit of, I've missed a little bit back here. I'm not even worried about it. Like I said, this knife's going back. This is just a cut test. We're only using this up here anyways. I'm not even worried about that little area. Thankfully, I don't see no foil burr forming. All right, so we're gonna make a couple alternating lighter and lighter edge leading passes, just to get any of those burr fragments that are remaining off of there. And this is really why I say do not worry about how your knife performs on the factory edge. Until you put a couple edges on it, you can't even, yeah, okay, I'm getting burr breaking loose. I can see it. Excellent. So we don't got a foil burr because it's breaking loose. I see it. Now I have to be really careful to not, you know what, I don't want to ram that edge into any hardened pieces of steel. So we're just going to clean the stone off. Now we're going to make some very, very light alternating passes. Extremely light pressure. Okay, we should be pretty well set. Like I said, I would have been very surprised if the heat treat in this knife was the problem, because out of all the Kershaw China knives that I've had and sharpened in D2, I've never had none that's been blatantly bad. Now I have had a bunch of them that's had fairly burnt edges, and right here was a prime example of that. So this is going to really show you that we're going to go 3 micron. Or actually, I've been doing them on 1 micron, so yeah, we'll go 1 micron. Actually, you know what? That burr seemed to come off. I'm not even going to use compound. I'll make 1 pass per side on 1 micron, but we're just going to go slightly above angle. Knock off any of those little burr fragments that are remaining. This is a strop with no comp. This is just leather, which is how I'd rather do it because I don't want to lose bite. So now we will make one pass on 1 micron. Of course, at exactly sharpening angle. Okay. That should be a very, very, very sharp and aggressive edge. Oh yeah, beautiful. Lots of tooth. Yeah, that's very nice. So now we don't have any burr that's in the way. That fatigue steel should be gone, and now we should get a more true to life number. I would say just then I probably removed, realistically, 3 sharpenings worth of steel. Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this. This was the first test with burn edge. And this will be for the new test. Okay. I'll tell you what, it's pretty crazy how quickly you go through this sisal rope. Like Pete, man, he must spend a fortune on sisal rope. That stuff, it is not cheap. All right, let me remark where we was. We was right. Nope, my marks are on. Really? Come on now. So we're gonna go from here to right there. About 1 1/8 inches, like I've been doing. Y'all ready? Let's do it. Oh, that's so much more bite. 1, 2. That's crazy how much more bite there is. 3, 4. In a way, I'm kind of glad that burn edge happened, because now you get to see in like real time how much of a difference it makes. Yeah, see, I was already having edge problem. I already felt that roll starting to form on the first 10. That feels like a perfectly fresh edge. Okay, we got 10. Notice how much smaller I can cut pieces too, because I have a lot more bite. And it's not trying to sploosh the threads out. Much easier on the arm too. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to start fast forwarding through this, running it at like 3x, 4x speed or something like that. If y'all want me to, I will. Or if y'all want to watch the cutting in real time, then I'll leave it as is. Y'all let me know. And also, drop me a like and a share every now and then. I'd appreciate it. I do want to grow this channel. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Lovely. Still got great bite. Notice it's not fraying it at all. It's cutting great. And this right here is why I actually really like D2. When it performs good. When it's done right, D2 is excellent because it does maintain its bite very, very, very well. Nice. Not even thinking about slowing down. Sorry, taking a smoke break. Ten. Good. I'm not gonna. The bite is slightly dropping, but absolutely no rolls. The bite is starting to fall off a little bit. Come on. The bite is starting to fall off a little bit. Still cutting good. Still looking good. Just making sure, yeah, see, they're starting to form a hang up, but they're still good. Say it's probably going to go 10 more, maybe a little more than that. Still cutting good. I do believe we're going to have a little catch this time, though. No? Maybe. No? It's almost there. Yep, that's still not tearing. It is slicing, so we gotta keep it going. I'll check it at five cuts. 5 more is probably gonna do it. Yeah, 5 more is probably gonna do it. Y'all see? I can definitely feel the bite going away. It's still cutting plenty good though. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, as far as the way it's cutting the rope, still cutting the rope pretty good. Well, I think that's it. No? It's really close. It's really close. It might do 5 more. Ropes getting a little harder to cut because there's no bite, but it's still cutting good. 2. Okay, yeah, it's starting to fall off pretty good now. That's 3. Yep, that's it. Yep, that's the end of it. No, maybe not. Yeah, okay, that's it. Yep, okay. So that was 3. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 63. All right, so 63 was the total. Now, I really hope that shows you why you don't worry about edge retention until you're a couple edges in or until you've removed a decent bit of steel. Because burn edges are definitely a thing. This right here is absolute proof of it. I'm actually kind of, it sucks that I had to do it twice back to back like that. But on the other hand, I'm kind of glad it happened for the simple fact that y'all got to see it in real time. Now, let's hop over to some 5 micron, give it a couple passes, and I do believe she'll come right back, probably to shaving. Show you the edge. See the little bit of glinting, just a teeny bit. Very little. Right here's a little right here. Very, very little though. This edge will easily strop back, probably strop back to shaving. In fact, when I'm doing this, the edge still feels reasonably sharp. That's not a dull edge by any means. That's sharper than the knife that's in the average person's pocket or kitchen. This area is still sharper, no doubt about it. So go to 5 micron. We're going to make 6 passes at sharpening angle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1 alternating pass. Okay. Let's see if she come back to shaving. And I'm running out of arm here. See that on my wrist right there? Let's see. Oh yeah, easily. Popping here actually. Oh yeah. Easily shaving. Literally popping here. That emulsion is so good. Lacey's emulsion, that stuff's so good. Priced well, go buy you some. It's on Blade Binge. Priced really good. Best stuff I've ever used. Beautiful. So as normal, your Kershaw, oh yeah, look at that. Easily just push cut right through there. That's what a good emulsion will do. A good emulsion makes a big difference. So as you can see, Kershaw D2, China D2 is actually pretty good stuff. You know, but burn edges are a thing. It's something that anytime you buy a knife, if it's been sharpened on a belt, and if it's a production knife, it has been. Don't worry about that. In fact, what I typically do is just before I even use the knife, it gets my edge on it. That cuts some of that out. Now, sometimes you can get, 1, 2, 3 edges in and still getting a foil burr. Sometimes it takes, I'd say most times 1 or 2 good sharpenings will clear it up, but sometimes it can be 3, 4, 5. Depends on how overheated they got it. If they were really aggressive on that belt and really brought that temperature up, it can heat soak into that steel further, and you have to remove more to get to good steel. But this one, I removed that 400 removes steel pretty daggone fast. So, I removed a pretty decent bit of steel, but it was enough. Back to razor sharp. Like, easily shaving, easily push cutting newspaper. Don't let people try to act like D2. If the D2 is done decently, it's good stuff. D2 is a very good steel. People hate on it. Now, I understand why people used to hate on it, because when China first started putting knives out in it, a lot of them wasn't even using D2. And then when they started getting caught and they actually started using D2, the heat treats were piss poor. But nowadays, most of them's got their act together. The heat treats are pretty decent. They're running the steel hard enough, and you get a surprising amount of performance out of this stuff considering the price you can get it for. Yeah, this is a great user steel. It really is. If you like nice aggressive edges that really dig in and cut, you can't really beat D2. Like, if you like the sticky fine edge that doesn't have high bite, 14C is a great steel. But if you want that toothy aggressiveness, D2 is the steel you want in the budget realm. 154 cm, it doesn't get quite as slick as 14C does, or it maintains bite a little better than, quite a bit better actually, than 14C, but it's not a super high bite steel neither. D2 actually is. I really love 154 cm because it's kind of, it reacts a lot like 14C does, but substantially longer edge retention and maintains its bite substantially better. So you kind of get the best of both worlds out of it. D2 is just a gnarly, aggressive cutting steel, but do not take it to a polish. 600 maximum, in my opinion. 320 to 600, that's where you want to be. You do that, you'll have a great performing, very aggressive, toothy piece of steel. All right, guys.